couple cool K for the features. It ain't about the money, then you probably can't reach us. Hey, and I put it on mamas. Do it for the soul, for the fame and the commas. Don't act, be chill with the dramas. All you gotta do is be you and be honest. Eating on papaya with my main thing. Baby getting bread, I'm on the same thing. No rocks in it, what a plain Jane. Put my niggas on, they used to gangbang. They be tryna play me like a new guy, but I'm buzzing in the apple like a fruit fly. I be somewhere in Seattle getting neck bone, and I'm really not the one that you should rest on. Uber eat Jamaican to the B&B. All the moves we making, they ain't seeing me. Rooftop bar for the scenery. I give a fuck about a mug and what it mean to me. I'm that saucy little nigga from the middle, man. Told that baby bounce it for me, she gon' dribble that. Got some reefer in the paper, got it mummy wrap. Got no motherfucking minutes for the funny act. Hey, and I put it on Caesars. All I got is certified trumpetas. Charge a couple cool K for the features. It ain't about the money, then you probably can't reach us. Hey, and I put it on mamas. Do it for the soul, for the fam and the commas. Don't act, be chill with the dramas. All you gotta do is be you and be honest. Monastery on them from the middle, man. What you know about it, baby, riddle that. Heard a lot of rapping, very little fact. You the type of nigga that we giggle at. Gold all on my mouth look like a chandelier. I'm about to disappear and make 100 grand appear. I'm about that cash money stunting like my daddy ho. Out in public, let me poke it on the patio. Couple shots of Henny, baby, I'm with anything. And if that nigga run up on me, let the semi sing. I'm playing 2K with that Deuce in my double phone. This for my clients, baby, hit me on my other phone. Pinstripe magic jersey like I'm Hardaway. I used to sweat for my money, found a smarter way. I hop out fresher than a bitch, I'm like, what's happening? No, you can't hold me, ho, I'm busting out the packaging. Hey, and I put it on Caesars. All I got is certified trumpetas. Charge a couple cool K for the features. It ain't about the money, then you probably can't reach us. Hey, and I put it on mamas. Do it for the soul, for the fam and the commas. Don't act, be chill with the dramas. All you gotta do is be you and be honest.
I'm a spin. I'm a baller. Take a deep I'm a shark, you 7 days a week. I'll be up all night, day and night, day and night. I'm a spend. I'm a baller, take a deep breath. I'm a shark, you 7 days a week. I'll be up all night, day and night, day and night.
My life's dope. I wear fancy clothes. I'm a hella woke. I got hella flows. As I learn to dope, I'ma bring the show. Anywhere I go, living life to the maximum. All day and night, all day and night, all day and night, living life to the maximum. All day and night, all day and night, all day and night, I'll be up all night. Let me be your king, yes I could be your captain. Live a life of dreams and live a life of fashion. I'ma lift you up before I throw you out, cause you can live your life sitting down. I'm a king, I'm a boss, I'ma spend, let it cost. Let me live my life of bliss in the fast lane. I'ma be on top of the world, watch it happen.
I'm a best man, I'm a baller, take a deep breath. I'm a shark, you 7 days a week. I'll be up all night, day and night, day and night.
All day and night, all day and night, all day and night, living life to the maximum. All day and night, all day and night, all day and night, I'll be up all night. Living life to the maximum. Put it up on my tab, listen up, here I am. Money talks, I got fans, spend it hard, spend it fast. What you need, I got cash, make a wish, I'll make plans. I'm a pig in a stew, I don't give if I'm rude. Let me live my life of bliss in the fast lane. I'ma be on top of the world, watch it happen. My life's dope, I wear fancy clothes. I'm a hella woke, I got hella flows. As I learn to dope, I'ma bring the show. Anywhere I go, living life to the maximum. All day and night, all day and night, all day and night, living life to the maximum. All day and night, all day and night, all day and night, I'll be up all night. Living life to the maximum.
Back on. Back on. Back on.
Welcome, everybody. How is it going? The Pit of Valor continues. It has been way too long. I am joined by the fantastic Vincent. We're kicking it old school here. We got Anton on the observer side. We have Ben hopping on the producer end of things, and we're bringing GLG back once again. Pit of Valor starts tonight. It continues onwards. But before we get too far, Vincent, thank you so much for being here. It's an awesome pleasure to be with you, just like the olden days, eh?
I know we're tossing it back, just a little bit of a throwback. Love to see that. Hey, and we're here thanks to Hyperion Esports as well. Huge shout out to them for making this whole thing possible. It's pretty cool. And yeah, I'm pumped to be here, Strive.
Yeah, you and me both. It's been so long, and a lot has been going on with GLG. The lounge has been kicking it alive and doing its thing. That's been the main focus right now, is getting some stability back into it. But of course, with the foundation building that's been occurring, we have a lot of great things coming up in the future. Pit of Valor is back on again, yet like you said, thanks to Hyperion Esports. We also have an amazing $25 prize for clip competition by Donkey Kong, which is going to be very exciting. So that's the Hyperion highlight of the day. It's really simple to participate. All you got to do is post your clip with the relevant hashtags, hashtag walk on high and hashtag GLG. And be sure you follow Hyperion Esports, HYPERIE Sports, and at GL Gaming Lounges. You can also do ! sponsor in chat as well to learn more about that. So let's get down into it here. We're starting off things fast, not too much desk time, but we're going to have ample time to chat, Vincent. Let's get down to Agent Select here on Ascent.
Yeah, we're gaming, and listen, it wouldn't be a Pit of Valor without us starting with Ascent, would it be? To be honest with you,
not.
Yeah, we talk about some El Clasicos. This one is certainly one of those. And well, with that, we can get into this. Agent Select. Not seeing anything too crazy from the Neglected side of things. It's a Ground X up against Neglected. I know we don't have the long names up in there, but yeah, seems pretty darn standard over there for Neglected. Also, I haven't seen any of the new changes. So like all of the changes to like Raise and the change to Clove, like I haven't seen that. So this is actually like jumping into this cold. Like obviously I read patch notes, but haven't seen anything. So I'm kind of pumped to see like what that changes. Right now, not so much.
Yeah, the implications will unfold. We got a great night of gaming ahead here. And in terms of things that have or have not changed, typically we've done best of 3 finals in the past, but this evening is very straightforward. We're going best of 1 right to the end. It's a $100 prize pool moving forward. But the difference here, I'm not saying for tonight. Tonight's a very special occasion, of course. We have $225 up for grabs, including that clip competition. But moving forward, GLG is going to be holding Pit of Valors, but they're going to have a small entry fee. So it's $10 for the tournament or $25 for the 4 Pit of Valors. So your team gets entry that way. And that really helps us make this particular set of events sustainable. And we appreciate your guys' support with GLG. I mean, you look at the number 179 or 78 doesn't happen by fluke. It's all thanks to our fantastic community. So got to give big ups to that. And for those that wish to participate, please get into it, get in the mix. I mean, and join us for these Pit of Valors, because you know we do it right here at GLG. And along with Ascent, let's get down to it. Best of 1 right to the end. There are no gimmies here. Let's get underway with round number 1.
Yeah, listen, I always love it like one day BO1 tournament. I feel like the stakes are just never higher than when you're one series, 1 game away from being gone. But looks like we're about to get a B hit sooner rather than later. I say that. Tark cover out, maybe going to stall that thing out just a little bit longer. The spike towards A. Nonetheless, Infant Eater, which is a great name. I want to know how they got all those numbers though. Like what those numbers mean. I need to know.
What is the lore TBD here this evening? If we get that far into the event, we can interrogate and ask. But You know, you said B hit right off the rip. Definitely a nice little look, and some utility used early on might leave the attacker side a little bit more naked than they'd like to be. And as they sneak on through, shift keys heavily bound here, making their way towards A. You've got Zoro playing a very passive position, and rightfully so, as that solo KJ here. Chunk with the jiggle. Here we go with the dash in, along with that cloud burst, and that's going to give him the space. Woo! Zoro overextending just a smidgen, and that's going to be site take secured for Neglected.
Didn't even look like Zoro wasn't anticipating taking that fight, just sending a little bit too far forward, a little too over eager. Retake to be had though. Crown X are gonna have some trouble though. Woozy, yeah, putting down the dark cover and then the paranoia as well. Lovey, in the meantime, is forced back into tree room, caught everyone off guard, and Ground X are losing players fast. Everybody but Super Mario's hit the dirt already. And I gotta say, I think that's a whole different game. You know, I'm no games expert, but
keeping it easy here. Nice job there from Neglected. Really good work there by Chunk. I mean, occupying that duelist role, gaining that space, getting aggressive, taking the fights and not being afraid of anything. And that's a really good way to start things off. I was a little bit concerned with just how much utility they dropped off the rip there, Anton. I'm like, you know what? Are they going to just take it right? Opportunity to halt their push, considering they're a little bit more exposed, but I guess a couple shock darts early on is really not that big of a deal, and with that, Neglected get on the board quite nicely.
That they do. Am I Anton now? Have I evolved?
Wait, did I call you Anton?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I'm like lost in the abyss. Vincent, how you doing? You've evolved. We are all one amalgamated.
I am now also Anton. I mean, Anton is here, you know. So
everyone's Anton. Everyone did. Call me Anton.
Anton's pushing the buttons for us. Yeah, see,
I love that.
He's giving us a little shake of the head.
Oh, Vincent.
It's all good. It's all good, man. You know, it's fine.
Good times.
Love things though for that opening start. A little bit of a freebie though. It felt like that retake just never could get started very well. Never had any control over towards tree. But Neglected, keeping it pretty simple, right? Nothing complex in this round. Just stick together. Had a bit of map control early on, and now have grouped back up over towards the B site, where once again they're going to head on in. Chunk leading the charge. That jet got the opening pick, though not required since nobody's home here on B.
Yeah, easy work here, making the space they need, getting on in. Very reminiscent of round number one. Spike gets planted. We got the defense here, Ground X sitting on the fringes, just having a dandy old time. KO gets a little bit of information, but I mean, if it wasn't obvious enough that they're on site, now you know. Getting over to button here. Super Mario wants to make some space, down to 4 HP. Chunk gets a 1 Guardian to the dome ski of Zoro. Shark Dart goes blitzing by at Mach 52 now, and so far Neglected is looking very strong, much like round one.
Yeah, and look at how they're not overextending as well. Just absolutely chilling. There's no reason to be over moving this. Though exits are in order for Ground X, and that's what's happening. Milky Ray with a couple of freebies. Gonna get even more. This is damage, a ton of it right now. Neglected. That's a problem. They've lost 3 players on retreat, and everybody goes down for Ground X as you would expect there towards the end. But what was a really clean round out of Neglected turns incredibly pricey as they lose everybody on the exit.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting thing to keep an eye. You can see obviously the scoreboard dollar signs speak that story. Some struggles there for Zomzinho, Wozy, and Chunk, but they should be all right. Chunk off of 5 kills already has Blade Storm. Going to go ahead with the full armor buy, and I would expect that to get popped this round. Meanwhile, this is Ground X's time to shine. They've managed to peel away some weapons, hit on the economy, and now Vandals aplenty. There's that ult that we talked about. Chunk being very patient, going in heavy now. Does have a cloud burst, missing the dash in, so that's going to be, actually no, I lied, it was already popped. I take it back, getting button control, looking to hit the button, but maybe no. Backside here, got to watch out for this jet. A lot expended. The time to shine here for Ground X is now, getting wrapped around at the same time, and that's beautiful work there from Chunk and Co.
Yeah, I needed to get some reinforcements into Ground X a little bit quicker, but isolated on the site was that jet, and now again, post-plant. This has been great for Neglected these last couple of rounds, and they're going to stack back in back boathouse, or at least 2 out of 3 players are. Making this recovery is becoming more and more impossible as you lose players. Ground X, they're down to just 3. HP low for Super Mario, and not looking likely to get much more. Nice couple of shots. Zoro's good for the 1, but the low HP Mario is looking for some additional exits, and side CT. Death it will come for them probably quite soon, and there it is.
Ground X,
just pick up the pace a little bit, man.
they do, and off of your comment, pace is there, and with Ground X, I feel it's very much the polar opposite, Vincent. They're just not having the right positioning. Like you said, mid round there, the support's not coming at the right time either. I felt bad for D13 in the corner there, just stuck at backside getting wrapped. And I will give a +1 to Neglected. As much as there was a lonesome defender on that site, Chunk and Co did a really good job of synchronizing that wrap and making a lot of noise from both sides of the site, causing a bit of, let's say, turmoil in D13's mind. So where's the peak coming from? And ultimately, the double hit was excellent for them. Ground X here off that Vandal buy, of course, are going to be in a bad position. Really hoping for a big eco round early on. Ascent is a slog and a half. And, like you said yourself, it's GLG fashion to start here, but by no means is it easy come, easy go. Infant Eater 81632, say that 10 times fast, pops a Chunk in the face. Quick trade from Lovey, and that's right back to ground zero here for this 4v4.
Yeah, that's well, I mean, it looked okay. Nice idea. I think this is Diego, by the way. I'm just gonna take a gander. Could be wrong, but
you're right there. It probably is Diego, Vincent.
yeah. Hey, was trolling a little bit. I understand. Numbers are hard. People get it wrong all the time. You know how often, Strive, I get hit with the vision.
I got you. It's all good in the hood. We're making it work here, and yeah, Neglected is making a lot of good things work for them, actually. Wozy up top, getting aggressive, and they're starting to find a rhythm and some comfort and some desires to hunt for these picks. And Super Mario now, at least on my books, has been last man in for a couple rounds, and partially in my mind, I'm okay with that, having the Smoker and Flasher of Omen being that last man standing. They're just not able to make a critical impact off of it.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, wouldn't put anything down individually at the moment for Ground X. I think right now, biggest issue for them is, sure, they're losing sites, but that's not a big deal if you can make the retake. Retake, though, that is where troubles have brewed. And well, Neglected right back in business with another posture with basically everybody towards B in the early round, looking towards mid now instead, but it seems like the longer this game goes, the more they're willing to just get up in the faces of Ground X. That's what they've done.
Intently. This is great for Infant Eater. That's a really nice choice. Getting aggro on short. That's going to give them some grounds to work with here, Vincent, as well.
Spike as well down.
Yeah, that's huge, actually. Great observation and good point. Wozy here, and in a moment of disparity, trying to make space and get towards that spike. Infant Eater had the cross in the right place. Zoro is going to be quick on the trade, and just like that, you blink your eye twice. Neglected yet again, pull it back to a 3v1. It's the lonesome Omen one more time here. Super Mario's got to come in clutch.
It was a nice recovery, though, from Neglected. All things considered, they were in a bit of a troublesome position with the spike down. 3 players actually watching it for Ground X. They were doing a great job of really surrounding it, but coming back in quickly. Neglected play for the trades, and now Super Mario's left in the clutch. Now, granted, sitting with a paranoia, there's some tools to work with at the disposal. Shrouded step to try and bait some additional moves out, and Lovey's maybe going to give them that play. Fortunately, time not on their side. Lovey's about to get activated. No, Lovey's going to hold back, and never mind, not necessary. Wozy's got the completion. Neglected pumping up to a 5th round. This is getting a bit out of hand here, Strive. Ground X are struggling to have an answer.
Yeah, certainly so. The momentum is very much attacker-sided, as you said yourself. And I love what Neglected does. It's these little, embellishments to the round, right? A little bit of a breaking of a glass, a little bit of deception to make sure that Ground X is aware, or Mario's aware that there's someone behind as well as in front. And that kind of slows down the decision-making and the, let's say, the tenacity or the direction that Ground X wants to hit on these retakes. Being a 1v3, of course, it's going to take a lot to make it work, but it's these small embellishments that really make Neglected look better and better as these rounds progress.
And it's back in business for Neglected. Big swap up once again. Talked about pace changes and how good they've been for them. And they pull out the fast plays once more. B site under fire. Death. Well, it did come to most of these B players, but Diego's made their way through. Sure, pistols only, but maybe a chance to find something more with that starting to expire. Lovey for a double kill. It's just the Guardian, and that one only good for 1. 6 rounds in a row for Neglected. and they don't even seem to be breaking a sweat.
Nope. It's seems like light work here for these attackers, and it makes me worry for Ground X, right? Forget the round differential. If this is what neglected attack is like, I don't even know how much room they're going to have to work with on defense. Obviously, a sense of roller coaster of a map, and certainly we can see some magical things happen on the swap, but I'm not seeing that type of precedence from Ground X, and even small things, right? Like I can see some small shifts now. You have the KJ and the Sova on B, understanding that playing on site solo has not been the move. They're going to have to synchronize a little bit better though, Vincent, right? If it's a B hit, back away, either commit to the hold or commit to the retake. But when you got Chunk landing an opener like that onto Jenny and all that space earned and a follow-up onto Diego, it's again, history repeating itself for Neglected, and they're back on site A once again.
Yeah, this is looking like it might be a round over once more, because Chunk's got 3. That double opener, as you mentioned. Zoro's coming back in to provide Super Mario support, but Death will find them shortly. Super Mario alone. And it feels like a bit of a repeat storyline of the last couple of rounds. Super Mario's been a poor guy rotating into the impossible ones. But you could, I think, you know, credit where it's due. You could see the gears turning. You mentioned a couple of those adjustments. Operator on the field as well. Onto the KO, which is not all that traditional, but was trying to get a very far forward position early to take some fights. Unfortunately for them, it was the first time that Neglected had actually been so aggressive today, had been in their face to that degree, and clearly was not prepared, even with the operator. Just some ideas that don't quite deliver.
That's okay. Ideas are a great start, and with this timeout, hopefully gives Ground X the time to let's say craft some other ideas, to say the least. And I think to your point and building upon it, it'd be very viable for Ground X here to at least look to segregate one area of this map with an aggressive push, right? Like a 2-man, 3-man push, look for some trade opportunities or even a pick or two for free and then back away. I think that'd be a great shift and give a little bit less room to the NGL attack side to work with, because obviously you give them an inch, they're going to take a mile from you by the looks of it, and they're so confident on their site entry, perhaps halting them before that can occur would be beneficial.
Yeah, I mean, listen, as much as you can talk strategy, there's certainly one thing that needs to be done here, and that's to figure out a way to stop Chunk, limit that player to finding these entries. Like 15 and 6 is just it's a numbers game at this point, when they're getting a double kill pretty much every round. In fact, that is more than a double kill on average. It's a bit absurd, a bit ridiculous. So as we get done with that timeout, Ground X will get their chance to try and recover. I mean, the tough part is trying to find a chance to recover. They don't actually have a great economy into this round in particular. They'll have Hero Rifle, and you know, on that topic, Diego on the Jet, maybe that's somebody that we can look towards to make that type of play. That Jet, that Hero Rifle over towards A, pushed up all the way forward.
Diego here is holding a very good angle. One way down. Wosie's going to be supremely patient there, waiting for that to drop, and that's good. Looking to see advances. Who's going to break first and make a move? Flash goes over. Hippity hop. Wosie's protected. Nice little jiggle from the back of those boxes, and that's light work for Neglected. They are so quick to that mouse one, and even though they're in, let's say, the non-peeker's advantage position, they're so fearless when it comes to getting business done.
And even beyond that, you see what it's caused rotationally for Ground X. They're worried about A, even though still fully main control in the hands of that KO. It's B. That's where Ground X are about to be pushed. Though, at the moment, Neglected just freezing until they get the right moment to go. That's now. We'll get the dash out. Same exact pathing as we've seen previously. A little bit of a recon ball. That's going to try and give some information, catch somebody on the cross, but nothing found. So Neglected have another post plant. This one, Ground X with a limited amount of weaponry on the retake.
Yeah, limited indeed, and this is the closest it's been on a retake, at least this far in for a while. I'm liking how they're using that clock a little bit to their advantage. Mosey here, situated, smoked off for the time being. They're going to have to make a move, and this crack is going to be a problem. Some damage taken there by Infant Eater on the way in, but they're looking to make some space. KO down and out for the time being. Would love to get res, but they have so much to worry about on site. Great swing there from Zomzino. Trades come in now as Lovey equalizes onto Zoro there. KO is about to say nighty-night, and it's down to the one lonesome Milky Ray. Unfortunately, can't look left and right simultaneously. This ain't Gecko mode. It's going to be Neglected, picking up yet again another round. 7, actually make that 8-0. The momentum continues, Vincent.
Okay, but listen, there's a lot to love actually about that round, Strive. Ground X, they didn't actually have a bye, and a fantastic attempt at the retake, sure, really helped out by Infant Eater, null command, and everything like that. Really denies Neglected's opportunity to put together a bunch of post-plant utility early on and delay like they've been doing previously, but the coordination was good. Small things, small positives to maybe buy them some success back into this with the Blade Storm out as well. Maybe, just maybe, this game ain't over yet.
Maybe indeed. Owl Drone is going out and about. Super Mario backs away actually, and Diego's also respecting the site take, and that's okay. I like this approach from Ground X. Play the retake and let's see how that works out for you. Hunter's Fury is out. Not going to get anything. A tag comes in as well. Zomzino has got to pick onto Ground X right off the rip. Diego getting frisky with that Blade Storm. Nice little hop shot. Dashing away to safety as Super Mario makes a huge impact, and with Zoro as well, getting tree control. This is looking very good for Ground X. They got Wozy to deal with, and Diego has had enough. Full stop there. That's a clip in itself for Diego. Going to get the first round for Ground X.
Hey, it took all the ultimates. They put them all in the blender, mixed them up, and tossed them through. But hey, victories are victories, and I'm a little confused. I don't know where the Hunter's Fury that I assume was meant to be denying the lockdown went. I guess Super Mario got the kill into the Hunter's Fury mid Hunter's Fury, but yeah, Neglected getting caught in transition there as the post plant gets activated. Super Mario with critical couple of kills, denying the Hunter's Fury and more. Number 1 round already found, but more required.
That indeed, and I think this is great too, by the way, from Neglected. A very quick yet small adaptation. They understand Infant Eater's choice to be aggressive, and despite that, they try to tame the beast at short by dropping a smoke, and the KO has no fear at all. Gonna demolish 2 opening picks, and that's great for Neglected here. Sorry, for Ground X, not the best for Neglected, as they're gonna have to play a little bit more passive, maybe look for another pick as this clock dwindles down, but so far so bueno here for the defenders as they can hold firm with this setup and 5 men strong.
Yeah, I mean, rare that we've actually been seeing a fight like that from Infant Eater, but in general from anyone on Ground X, able to take a duel too strong against them and still find success. Here's even more information. A couple of suppresses as the utility gets tossed out. Ooh, Wozy in trouble as well. Infant Eater with a triple kill opens the proceedings, helps close them as well.
I love that, by the way. There's just something very satisfying about, as much as we like to watch the point of view side of things, I love seeing the receiving end of kills, especially like what Diego pulled there was a clean, tidy shot to the dome. Like you cannot bash it whatsoever. 2 rounds here, Anton, for Ground X is a huge turn of events. Like at this far in, I was like,
again. I'm back to being Anton.
Anton, oh my God, it's perpetually. I don't know what it is. It's not clicking. It's not clicking. Vincent,
it's just been too long. It's just been.
It has been. You know what it is? I don't see enough of you.
Yeah, I need to be in your life a little bit more.
You do. Maybe you know what? You do need to be in my life a bit more, buddy. Hopefully, Destiny takes its course and this occurs. That fragment definitely took its course. My goodness, landing supremely short of wine, dashing in. Love this from Diego. 1, 2, stuck behind the smoke. 3 for Diego. That to the clip book yet again. Whether it's a Blade Storm or a Vandal, it's looking very good here for Ground X. They're building so much padding for the second half.
I mean, you can see what happens when Neglected's first strategy doesn't actually go to plan. When Chunk isn't getting those double entries that we've been seeing them pick up time and time again throughout this map of play. Well, now when that starts to fall apart, Diego can get activated. You saw Super Mario in the previous rounds. Just a lot more from Ground X available. Now, Neglected have walked away. Now they come back, and I don't think Lovey's going to get a freebie. Yeah, doesn't quite get the clean shot they were looking for, but This is all information known and should be death very shortly to be found. A valiant effort for Zomzino, but there we go. I mean, Ground X, I was really starting to get scared that they wouldn't be able to put up a fight of any sort towards the end of this half, but like I said, you really deny Chunk in particular. That's the opening tip of the spear to these hits. And Neglected, great on their post plants. They have been phenomenal. But if you don't get there, seems like things may fall apart a bit quicker.
It's kind of cool to see how quick 1-2s like that can just turn around upside down on its head and put a halt to what is, apparently a very strong team. Meanwhile, Lovey getting some love from the Odin. The paper mache walls of ascent deliver one more time. That's Milky Ray on it for the first pick. Spamming away, gonna also destroy that lockdown. God, you gotta love and hate the Odin though. Wozy has also made a move towards backside. Milky Ray may or may not have fallen off of their chair. That's gonna be the equalizing 4 versus 4 here, Vincent. Now, quick halt to the push, but they're trying to make some grounds through to sidewalk, and I love the respect from Ground X here, letting things kind of unfold, and they're gonna play the retake fully.
Yeah, that was a really nice timing from Wozy. I mean, perfect to catch the timing on the reloading Odin. Don't know if that was the intention, but it certainly worked out a treat. Not Neglected. Get into those post plants I've been oozing about this whole time. And once again, a really nice setup. Look at the crossfires. All right, contact can be made. Swing off the back of it. Here we go. Zomzino opens the proceedings. A double from them, and Super Mario left alone again. Poor guy cannot get out of these 1vx's, and you hate to see it, but 6 bullets not enough, and that will be game over, at least for the first half. 9-3. Neglected recover after losing 3 towards the end, and Ground X with just a little bit of space to work with as they move over to the second.
A little bit is better than not a bit. That's what I'm going to comment on, at least.
Good
for this
point.
one. Like, for real though, like there's no other way to slice this. You look at that board, back to, front to back of that entire first half was just Neglected being the source of everything good. Coming into this, let's hope that Pistol kind of works out, much like we saw what Neglected pull out there. Just some great consistent starting rounds, and I did see great glimmers of it, but of course half swap is a whole different strategy, obviously, and I'm keen to see what Ground X has gotten, just how forward they can be, how chunk like they can be in their sight hits.
And so with that, we get underway with the second half. Ground X starting at least postured like they want to go for this A split. That's where the spike's located, and a couple players up catwalk for the moment. Very spread defense, by the way, from Neglected. But just the first bit of utility, dark cover tossed in, and they're already bolstering the defense of A.
Oh, this is good. This is great. Excellent move there. Chunk gonna dash out for the 1, but Diego and Infant Eater 1 a pop as well. Tree room control is good. Spike's getting planted. I like this positioning. They've got main under wraps, knowing that Neglected hasn't pushed out to that area whatsoever, and they have no control. So firm setup here. Let's see if they can hold it for the long run.
Well, everybody's coming in from the same angle. Zomzino got a double swing. Very nice work from JPT, and got a little bit scary there. But the swap over works a treat. It's up to a 10th for Neglected as soon as they pick up this defuse, and Chunk getting back into action there with a couple of kills of their own. It's more of a team effort though on the defense, it seems, for Neglected.
Something really nice about double peeking an angle on pistol round lined up. Typically I would say don't line up, right? You're asking for a double kill. But what you saw there from Neglected on that decision to swing together, super cognizant that they had the numbers in that case, and it's unlikely they're going to get double sheriff to the face, let's be honest. So a decision like that was, whether intentional or not, kind of cool to watch, and it's a great way to get them into the double digits now. You can see on the opposing end of the spectrum, Ground X have invested everything, including the kitchen sink, into this round. Really want to dig deep and hopefully pull this fourth together, which is a huge round in the grand scheme, right? We're teetering on match point at the end of the day here, Vincent, so eager to see what they can pull out, as they're just taking it slow and easy, very much B-centric for the time being, and let's see if Neglected gets a little bit aggro on that A side and gets some good information.
I mean, that's got to be the thought process here for Ground X, is that, like, hey, if we lose this round, we're probably losing the map anyway, so we're going to give it our all, put it all on the line. Now, That Outlaw already done some damage to Diego, tagged down pretty heavily. Mid control, sure, for Ground X, but they're being contained at the moment. Nice paranoia. And Lovey's going to keep up the pressure as the dark cover falls. Not even sure how he's picked that up, but Somzino's got one of his own. Spike alone over towards A on a mission is Milky Ray.
Door closed, and KJ at middle there on the minimap you can see is, I believe, looking to cut some rotates off. Zorro 8 HP in a dream. A lot can go wrong here very quickly. A quick hit on that Sova on A site, and just like that, Neglected's going to have full site control. Ooh. Ares goes off, pinging away, dropping down. Milky Ray with the spray. Coming in now with a light buy or light gun picked up in trade for that Ares, and it's no bueno. Chunks got the pick. Zorro 8 HP in a dream. Sees the heads, but cannot convert fast enough there as Neglected, despite the buy round from Ground X, are able to pull 11 rounds together, and off they go here. Next one's match point. We are running out of tarmac here for these attackers.
Well, Ground X in particular, running out of ground. That's for sure. And it's tough because as much as they full invested that round, now they're looking less likely to even get a real buy out of this. And I would have respected the call, Strive, to go for an eco here, but this is not eco time. You're gonna save. Last round was the save round. Now it's time to buy out. Buy till you win, or unfortunately, it's game over.
This is it. I mean, you're right, honestly. It's a tough place to be in because a lot has to go right for these full-blown investments to work in your favor. You got to stay alive, number one. You got to convert multiple rounds, number two. And neither one of those are easy per se. Chunk jiggles out, Outlaw in hand, gets Super Mario'd, and that's a great opener. Some damage done off to the Ground X jet here as Milky Ray drones on through. They do not have long A control, and it's a good decision actually. Perhaps they heard it, or they just understand the fact they don't have any good look at it, and they back away nicely. Great movement here, rotating back. That's going to be JPT gone, and that's going to nullify all that KJ utility on B site.
Yeah, really nice freeze actually out of Ground X. They get the information that they might not have full control over towards A, and they just wait for a little re-aggression, and that's what comes through from Tiles. Get the free kill that direction, and now the B site is theirs for the taking. Spike will go down, and Ground X, it's looking likely that they're going to be able to convert. Of course, you give it the old college try if you're Neglected. No reason not to. You have such a supreme lead, but Infant Eater is not having any of that.
I like the confidence here from Infant Eater. Just kind of want to let that play unfold, like really just pop flashing for the sake of getting some info and some damage. Oh, Wozy though. Oh boy. This is going to be a moment if we see a conversion from Neglected, but Spike's now way past its due date as Diego and co want to get their exits done, and with an exit comes a friendly Outlaw kill for the road, and Milky Ray goes ahead and mops up the rest of that mess. Going to convert Ground X for another round, again 4 now, and maybe part 1 of my puzzle is coming into effect, Vince, and they got the round. They didn't lose too many members, and the economy continues to build for them.
Yeah, the game plan for Neglected wasn't a bad one, because they already know that they're going to be buying the next round. They know that the econ's not great to begin with for Ground X, and if they take even more rifles out of their hands, then this buy is all over the place, and even still it is. And I don't think that this, to me, seems like Ground X not necessarily aware of how strong the econ is from Neglected, because they've got an op in play to Neglected this round, though it doesn't matter. Chunk gets deleted by the other side of that fight. The Outlaw takes him down.
Fragment is out as well and comes a little bit short of market. They're not going to use that really that well, even to get some space up middle and such, but it does zone off that area, and all's good here. Ground X sitting in the driving seat in terms of numbers here. Lovey might be in a position to contest if this goes A bound, and I like how they have that KJ this time outside of A, or A main rather. That's what they really struggled to control in their previous look at A, albeit they pivoted to B, which was the right choice. But if they want to hit this now, they can clear wine and even make a way through with the nanos. But time still ticking, utility still dropped, and 40 to go. they're going to have to pull the trigger sooner than later. And as I say it, Zoro has pulled the eject button, is going full-blown run towards B.
Yeah, with mid control still in their hands, Ground X, that's all good. I mean, they're putting the pressure on in this market area. JPT is going to have to turtle up a little bit with Zombzino on the site. Now, granted, as you mentioned, not free. 15 seconds. Get a move on sooner rather than later. Zoro will take one down. Zombzino unchecked for the moment, but 10 seconds is plenty. You already got that spike halfway planted. Neglected once again out of the round as they get split down the middle. 1v4, not a chance. Not even an attempt for Wozy. We'll be keeping the bags packed. In fact, suitcases on the doorstep.
Yeah, for sure. Gonna go ahead and look for the exit opportunities, and I really hope that Ground X has thought this through. Obviously, exiting through spawn is not the play right now. Market, I'll take it. Frag hunting at this point in time is not worth it. You know, low HP Jet and Omen, just way too risky. Wozy's going to get away unscathed. They're going to go ahead and Wozy's going to also pick up the bags and leave for vacation after this round, carrying a Vandal forward. But that aside, Ground X here, I don't know what, like, something's clicked, right? They either got, you know, somebody whipped out the good old strap book and started reading, you know, lines very detailed and giving commands as to what we're going to do and how it's going to happen. But the timing on that round in itself, Vincent, was just beautiful. Right down to the clock. So well calculated.
You know, I think two things that I've noticed, right? First of all, you know, the swap onto the attack side, that's certainly part of it. Very cautious approach are Ground X playing right now. And I think that deserves a lot of credit because they haven't been too keen to get into those fast, aggressive maneuvers, but they've also been winning when it comes to those opening engagements. You know, thinking to the beginning of that round where Chunk has an op and gets absolutely railed, doesn't get a chance to even shoot thanks to the Outlaw. So, you know, there's that, and the way that they've been very careful in their approach. But beyond that, listen, as much as this is not a pointing blame finger type of situation, Chunk is falling off a cliff in regards of individual impact, you know, and other people have stepped up at times, but when you're like 15-5, it was a whole different ball game.
Fair, I mean, fair point. The numbers speak for themselves, obviously, and the impact so quickly obviously showed its effects. And Chunk might need to go back to the play aggressive type of role, regardless of what side Chunk is on. You know, that might be a bit more impactful, of course, but you can see off that timeout, things are bleak financially for Neglected. So this is their dig deep attempt with the Sheriffs to pick up a save round or a light buy round or a buy for next round, as we like to call it here. And with that, you can see Ground X again pull up the strat book and say, guys, slow and steady has been working for us. Let's stick to that and see how far it gets us. And one way is let them do what they want to do. We're going to use this clock to our advantage.
This is Ground X playing their game. They seem very willing to play their default. Let Neglected make the first move, and often the first mistake, as it's been in these last couple of rounds. And granted, it's a long way to go, right? 6 rounds more is the requirement just to tie this game up, and even beyond that, we're looking at a lot more required to pick things into a victory. But see nothing on the default. 45 seconds at the time to move. Ground X will hit the B site very soon.
What I love about Ground X, you know, whether intentional and they figure this out or not, because I haven't been keeping track in my mind, is they're picking good sites to hit, right? You can see Jets now moving back towards B, but prior was just all the way at long A. Had that hit been just, you know, 10 seconds sooner, there would have been a Lonesome Sova on there. So the thought process is great. KO Ultimate here, joining in as well. Quick little door hit there for Diego, and Zombzino, oh my goodness me, gets a 1 on a 2 with the Sheriff. That conversion is exactly what they ordered. Hello, submit that to the clip round. Get yourself entered for Donkey Kong's $25 prize. That's a clip in itself. Well done for Zombzino and Neglected.
I mean, I was talking about the individuals and when that would be the name of the game once again. Yeah, Zombzino doing it. 1 for the team, 2 and 3. Absolutely fantastic. They're on the Sheriff as well. Picking it all up and putting them down in an early grave. Neglected. Step 1 closer, and big deal when you're talking about map point now. series on the line.
Revealing area.
No more
Zomzino went
errors.
absolutely ballistic. No, none. And error or not, you can't have Zomzino type of plays anymore. Like that. That Sheriff series needed to get shut down after the first one dig. Like the fact that they continued to trickle in and line up for that angle was just not it. So Ground X a little bit more confident, a little bit more oomph in that. Just get on site. Don't be afraid of the one Sheriff. Just swing the guy as 2 or 3, and things should be okay off the backside of it, unless Zomzino's obviously goaded enough to connect on all the 4 heads.
And this is where I think Chunk deserves a little bit of credit, because they're the ones who was actually putting the pressure on from market, right? That was why that stall happened, why they stopped moving and allowed Zomzino to take some of those duels. Going to be a little bit of a back and forth here. Hunter's Fury into the lockdown. So Ground X don't really get anything out of that, but that was all a bit of a bait to begin with. Their plan not to make that commitment anyway.
Nice. Look at this repositioning from Lovey, by the way, right back to door, playing the angle. First swing comes in through. Lovey gets the 1. Oh my goodness, what a paranoia. What is happening? One was intentionally a self-paranoia, perhaps, or like not intentional. I don't really know, but Chunk off of it is giving them space, gets 1 more for the books as well, and this could very well be the wraps unless Diego's got an option to halt it, and it ain't gonna happen here. JPT is gonna go ahead and clean up the mess, and that's gonna be neglected coming in for the win on our first round here.
Yeah, nicely done. They finally put the cap on what was eventually going to be a win. At least that's what it looked like from the early 9-3 that we saw. Really incredible first half out of Chunk in particular. There was a lot to love about what they were doing as an individual, right? Picking up, I think it was 15-4 or something like that into right round 8. It was crazy. So
a lot.
Yeah, having that kind of individual performance certainly going to help you win some games. Ends up helping to close there Zomzino with a big quad kill in order to stop them. Fortunately, that is day over there for Ground X. Neglected, they get to move on.
Yeah, and with moving on comes a lot more games to be played here this evening at GLG. Some quick little bits of information I'm going to throw at you here, and I want to get it in your brains early on so you have time to stew on it, and when I repeat it, you can fill in the voids of the important bits that you've missed. Like we said, there's a $25 competition here happening by Donkey Kong. I dropped the information in the chat as well for you, just so it's easy to follow through with the people you got to follow and whatnot, and how to enter. So please participate in that. It means a whole huge amount. A big thank you to Hyperion Esports, as you said, Vincent, early on, for supporting and sponsoring this event. $200 on the line plus Donkey Kong's 25 makes for a 225 pot, which is awesome here after a long Pit of Valor hiatus. We're going to be also transitioning, like we said, to entry-based or fee-based entries into our Pit of Valor. $10 entry for the one-time event, 25 gets you 4. And the cool thing is we build up into our Radiant Arena series again. As a winner of the Pit of Valor, you get a free entry into your Radiant Arena event that gets scheduled in. So the entry for that event in itself is 75, and that's a $1,250 prize pool for Radiant Arena. So more entry, more prize pool at hand. But if you want to get into the mess at a lower cost per se, hop into a Pit of Valor if you feel you got the mojo to get all the way through and hop into that Radiant Arena in itself. So on that note, Vincent, let's go ahead and send it off to a break, give everyone a chance to digest all the goodness, come back to us with more events, or not more events, rather more Valorant here in a short little bit. So take a quick break, catch you soon.
Boxes are defeated, purpose always fleeting. I pose questions to the ceiling like an answer gonna come. Truth is too revealing, life is easier concealing. All emotions to the start on your heart going dumb. I shouldn't be in drive more, I just wanna feel alive more. I feel hurt all the time, but I can't see straight. I've been running on the freeway, till I get blinded by the headlights. They go past me, I see the last me I ever will be. That got me asking, living this lightly, has that been the right thing? Or should I been a little bit more focused on the place that my feet needed to go? And as they go past me, I see the last me.